Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of the Inner Health Project. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, feeling goofy with Hannah Getty. Hello, Hannah.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, we're spicing it up. I like that. I think it's good to keep it fresh and relevant.
Yeah.
keep them guessing. All you people listening, keep you guessing. I think you know what I like, Hannah, about this this format in your show is like I feel like people come to you for massage and they get to see professional Hannah doing massages and talking consultations and what are we working on. But I feel like we get to see another side of Hannah sometimes in this show.
Yeah, I mean, because when I'm with clients, we don't really talk much about what's happening in my life, or it's more about them, and it's more about them relaxing, and so we don't really have big huge conversations during a massage. So yeah, this is really fun for me to be able to express what's in my mind and what's in my heart. So. Totally.
I think too, people I know that I appreciate services more when I feel like I know the person. Like there's a deeper connection when I feel like they're a friend, or like I know where they're coming from. It makes me trust them more. So I like that about what you're doing with the show. So.
Yeah, I feel like I'm able to connect with people on a deeper level rather than just this is a transactional service. This is about elevating people to their best selves. So,
yeah. Well, that's a great statement for today's topic. I think part of elevating ourselves to our best selves, elevating the level of our best self. How do you say that?
Yeah.
Part of elevating, I think, is also descending into the shadow. I think there's a lot of people trying to elevate without dealing with the stuff under the surface. And so in this episode, we're talking about loving your anxiety, which is just crazy. Love your anxiety. Hannah must have fallen off her chair, bumped her head.
Yeah. Right.
How do we love our anxiety, Hannah? What are you talking about? What is this?
I wanted to address this because it's been showing up a lot in my practice and in my own personal life. And I've noticed that people feel when they talk about, I had a panic attack, or I'm feeling very anxious, or I had a breakdown.
Yeah.
There's this very heavy, almost like maybe shame, or they're just feeling like they shouldn't be having it. Like they're embarrassed that this anxiety is there. And it's like fighting what is. Like this is showing up in your life for a good reason. And I think we need to honor that and explore it more, instead of feeling shame around admitting that you had a panic attack, or something in your life isn't quite balanced, and it's showing up in this way. Totally. So I want to honor the anxiety and explore it more.
Yeah. So. I think you're right. Like the context of if we think about, like, we all want to be safe. I think our subconscious is trying to keep us in status quo. Like, it doesn't like change, and anxiety can often come from things that have changed, or things that we fear are going to change, whether it's a relationship and we have anxiety about the direction of that relationship, or anxiety about our job because it doesn't feel like we're progressing, or like whatever it is. Like there's all sorts of ways we could feel like our comfort is being threatened. Do you feel like are there other places anxiety comes from? Because I know it comes from those places, but are there other?
Like where would it show up for people?
Yeah, like where does it come from? What do you think?
That's a very good question. I know for me recently, it came from a really deeply held belief that I had as a child and growing up. And it kind of revolved around the issue of feeling safe. And without getting too specific about it, but so it kind of bubbled up for me through just observing my interactions with different people. and one person in particular, and just kind of, it's like it's a lesson that I still need to learn. And the anxiety or the discomfort is showing up for me through interactions with other people. And because I'm sitting there and I'm observing it, and I'm open to processing it and allowing it to actually sit in my body for a little bit, and be with it, I think that's where I'm able to find the wisdom and learn from it. I'm not running away from that discomfort. I'm really honoring the place that I'm at that particular moment, and allowing my body and my emotions to just be there without judgment. And I think that's where people get caught up, is they start judging themselves, which causes even more anxiety or fear or stress. And that just like creates more of a snowball effect, and you're getting more and more anxious about it.
That's such a good point. I feel like when I get triggered, I actually had an experience in the last week where I felt really exposed and embarrassed by something in work. And I noticed I had like these butterflies, and I had this like just this uneasy feeling, and I couldn't quite pinpoint it, but I knew it was attached to this experience inside my business. And normally when I have that feeling of being exposed or embarrassed, it's super uncomfortable. So I tend to distract myself with something else. I'll completely like physically turn away from it and go like do something else in order to occupy my attention somewhere else. And I didn't do that this time. I'm like, okay, let me just sit with it. And as I sat with it, like, it was the weirdest thing. Like I actually felt this sense of power or empowerment instead of embarrassment. Like it actually converted embarrassment into empowerment, because I was just being with the feeling of it. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah. It's almost like, when you have to throw up and you fight that feeling,
yes.
It makes it worse.
Yeah.
And it's like stuffing down that stuff that the crap that needs to come out and get out. Yeah. And when you hold it back, it just makes it worse. And it's accumulating in your body. So it's accumulating however it might accumulate, and then you have a panic attack, or it might create like really tense muscles, and you're causing like the stress is accumulating in there, or it's accumulating in your emotions, and it's staying in that space for you, instead of allowing it to be present in your life for that moment, and then learning from it, and kind of letting it go.
Letting it play out.
Yeah.
I think so too. Do you feel like, so if we like move to the loving it part, so step one would be like, recognize it, like, and be with it. Like once you're like, oh, this is anxiety. Okay. Now I can, maybe step two is to be with it. Like just feel it, be with it. Don't run from it.
Yeah. Observe it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think you're right. Cause in the observing of it, that's where like, I think things start to open up. Do you feel like that's true? Like that's where you start to see a new opportunity?
Yeah. I think like for me, like new thoughts would come in, and I was starting to make more connections with, oh, I'm feeling this way because of this, because I've been thinking this way, and it's a conflict in my life. It's not matching up with what I really know to be the truth. And it's causing that anxiousness. Yeah, I think observing and not judging it, because if you put yourself down for what you're feeling, I know it's not comfortable at all to feel anxious, to feel that anxiety. But if you put yourself down for having those feelings, it just makes it worse, because it's just causing more stress. It's like you're anxious about your anxiety, about it's just keeps going. So
totally. Yeah. I love that. So okay, so then the loving of it part, I think is well, you speak to that, like so we observe it and we potentially see openings or new opportunities inside of that observation. How does that then convert into loving it? Like how do we get to that place of like actually having a good emotion about anxiety instead of resistance?
Right. Well, I think if you try to relax into it,
Yeah.
relax into the uncertainty of it, relax into like trusting that you're gonna come out, like you're gonna be okay. You're trusting that you can relax into the uncomfortableness. For example, like if you're getting a massage and I'm working on an area and it feels painful, and I mean not, and we're working on it and we're trying to release that tension, it goes a lot better, and you release that tension so much easier if you relax into it, if you breathe into it, if you allow the body to do what it's supposed to do, and you support the body and support yourself by breathing into it and relaxing into that anxiety that you're feeling.
So the love of it is not so much being excited about it as it is more of an embracing love, like a safe love, like here's anxiety and I'm just going to feel from a place of loving myself, my body, this experience, this moment. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, like loving kindness to yourself. It's not loving yourself. Just when you love something or yourself, it's not, you're not always going to be happy. Like, like when you love yourself, sometimes you have to push yourself to do something that you didn't think you could, or you have to go out of your comfort zone a little bit. I mean, that's still loving yourself. That's still growing as a person. So loving the areas of your life that may be embarrassing to you, or you feel shame around, that's still there. It's still a part of you. That's still you. So when you are trying to push away those parts of your life, it's like you're rejecting parts of yourself. So you need to love every bit of yourself, even the parts that are uncomfortable, even the parts that you think are ugly, even the parts that are just causing you pain. That's still a part of you. That's still you. You, like in your muscles, you can't cut them out. You need them. And even I've heard clients say, oh, just, it hurts too much, just get rid of it. You can't. That's still a part of you. That's you. You have to love every part of you. And you have to love yourself to get to the other side. You have to love yourself to be free of the tension, the pain, the anxiety.
Preach, yeah. Hannah. You just went off. That was awesome. That was so good. I loved it. That was amazing. Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
that was awesome. I agree 100%. Yes to that. You're right though, because like, I think a lot of the anxiety lives in the space of resistance. Like when you're always resisting, that's where anxiety thrives. It grows inside of resistance. And how you're posturing or how you're being is just embracing it all and loving it all, then it ceases to have the power that it would have over you.
Yeah. And I think so many people have the issue of stress and anxiety. It's not just an individual problem or an issue. It's a society issue. It's a culture issue. It's for all of us to help bring to the light. So you're not alone in feeling anxiety. You're not alone. And I think we need to embrace it and lift each other up and say, I understand, or if I don't understand, I'm gonna witness for you. I'm gonna stay here next to you, and I'm gonna do what I can to help embrace you and through this.
Totally. I think too, in the space of have you ever heard that saying, like, if you change how you look at things and the things you look at change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. I think if our experience of anxiety isn't, oh no, but our experience of anxiety is, wow, what's this showing me?
Yeah.
For me, that's a way I can relate to loving anxiety, is like, there's a lesson in here. Like there's actually not just like some lessons are really painful and we hate them, but even that you could change your perspective and be like, there's a lesson in here that's going to make my life better. That's going to cause me to rise, to level up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And if your experience of anxiety is growth and a better life, then you could actually look forward to it, because you know that life's going to bring you, it sounds so weird, but life's going to bring you opportunities to not just rise, but rise to where you want to go.
That's so true. It's an opportunity for you to dig deeper and discover what it's showing you. It's showing you, it's in your life for a reason. It's there for you. And it's a gift. It really is a gift. I know when you're in a panic attack, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
But it's showing up in your life for a reason. Mm-hmm. So, and it's a good reason. So let's honor that.
Absolutely. What if every day, what if every day you were looking for the next anxiety? You're like, come on, bring it. I want to grow. I want what's next. I want to live this life to the fullest. And like every day you're looking for the things that piss you off, or the things that, trigger you, because you wanted the gift of the lesson. You're like, oh, that was amazing what I just saw. Like for me, that thing the other day, right, where like in my business, it was like, I really saw that in the middle, like as I sat with the anxiety of it, the embarrassment of it, I actually saw this moment where I could rise. I was like, I could go this way or I could go this way. In the past, I just always shrink, but I actually have an opportunity to make a different decision. And in that decision, and I made that decision, and I was like, oh my God, I just overcame. And not only did I overcome this moment, but I implemented something in my business that was important for the rest of my business's growth. I was like, that was a gift,
Right. Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so cool.
And had you not had that experience, you wouldn't have known how you could grow your business. You wouldn't have had that insight. You wouldn't have had that leveling up of your business.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Totally. And I wouldn't know myself as somebody who overcame it. I would still be thinking of somebody who was embarrassed by and felt small compared to the mistake I made. But because I sat with it and decided made a different choice, now I feel like I know myself as someone who can handle that type of a situation from here till forever, because I just handled it right now. Like I now have evidence of handling something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that snowballs, that compounds.
Yeah.
That's good, Hannah. I love that. I mean, talk about inner health, like anxiety is definitely an inner issue.
Yeah.
And the ability to love it definitely leads to inner health. That's so good. Any other last minute thoughts or?
If you're having a difficulty getting a different perspective on your own, I think talking about it to somebody that, like a therapist or a friend, somebody that you can really trust in your life, to help you get a different perspective, to be there, to be a support system for you. Totally. I think that can be huge. Just have someone sit with you, that we need each other for the good, when we're going through the tough times. And I think to get a different perspective, just having somebody else there can help you do that. Love it.
I agree. So good, Hannah. Thank you. If people want to reach out to you, maybe they have some anxiety in their body, they want to help massage out, and they like to schedule a massage with you, or they just want to connect with you online somehow, where do people go to connect with you?
You can go to innerhealthproject.com, or you can watch all of the videos or join our conversation on Facebook at Inner Health Project. Just type that in Facebook, or you can watch on YouTube as well, and reach out to me on Facebook. Yeah.
So good. So good. Awesome. Hannah, thanks again for bringing this work to the world. Until next time, take care.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris.